I'm sorry it happened to you is one of the worst things you can say to someone or someone can say to you. Because what this sentence does to your sense of agency and power. And if you ever felt smaller, weaker, or even more stuck after hearing the sentence addressed to you, there is a reason for it. This phrase alone immediately places the person in a position of victim of life. And being the victim is a very powerless place to live from. People don't get stuck because life was hard. Life is hard. And people stay stuck because the hardship becomes their whole identity. And instead of being someone who create meaning out of their circumstances, they become someone life simply happens to. And that is exactly how pain turns into the chronic stagnation. Life is life, and life will always be life. Life is fair and life is unfair. Life includes love and joy and expansion. And life also includes pain and loss and betrayal and suffering. And that is not the fault in the design of life, but that is the design itself. So the real question here is not what happened to you, but how do you relate to that which happened? Because when you see yourself as a victim of your circumstances, you literally give your power away. Instead, when you see yourself as an artist of your own life, as a creator of your own reality, even the darkest chapters of your life becomes a raw material, a clay from which you can create your new reality. Terrible, hard, unimaginable things happen to people across different cultures and across different socioeconomic levels. And a lot of those things are completely out of our control. But what is always, always in our control is our own attitude towards the happenings of life and our capacity to create meaning out of it. And creating that meaning requires strength, requires will, and requires faith. And I'm saying faith not in a religious way, I'm saying faith in you have to believe in something. If you're strong enough to believe in yourself, great. But sometimes we need to believe in something greater than ourselves. Maybe it's God, maybe it's universe, maybe it's sun, maybe it's moon. It doesn't matter. We simply have to have that belief in order to place one foot in front of another and move forward instead of staying stuck and sink deeper into the swamp we are in right now. So we must have faith. And if you're strong enough to have faith in yourself, amazing. Otherwise, find something, construct that pillar in your life that you can believe in, that you are deeply guided by some force that is always, always stronger than the pain you feel in that moment. So the sentence, I'm sorry it happened to you, even though it meant from a good place, from a place of empathy, what it does instead, it freezes the person in the moment of pain. What it does is signals to the subconscious that this hardship defines you. And when identity collapses around suffering, the growth becomes hard. It stops. And you become trapped in one piece of a puzzle of your life instead of seeing your life as a whole. And that's how people become, in a way, slaves to their circumstances instead of being creators of their own meaning. Suffering becomes unbearable when it feels pointless. But when pain is connected to the greater meaning, it transforms. because there is a greater purpose in it. And one of the best examples I could give is, think about the labor, like a woman giving birth. Most of the time, the pain is immense. But because there is no choice but to proceed, to go forward, to find a way, and because the body is flooded with oxytocin during that time, and immediately after that, there's a higher purpose in pain, the purpose of bringing life into this world. And that's why women can actually bear this process. That's why they find meaning and beauty in it. And that's why they are willing to go through it again and again. That's why I often invite people to apply the principle of giving birth to their life, meaning the only way is the way forward. The only way is to find a way. There are different ways to bring life into this world. But we must always find a way. And it's painful and it's uncomfortable and we are not ready and we are scareful and we are fearful, and sometimes we feel supported and sometimes we don't feel supported, and sometimes we scream and sometimes we are quiet. It depends. And sometimes it's a natural birth and sometimes it's a C-section, and sometimes there are many ways, but the only way is to find a way. And finding meaning, well, actually, we don't find anything, we create it. Creating meaning doesn't erase pain, but it organizes it. When we allow ourselves to zoom out, often what we perceive in this moment as an unfortunate event, as the dark chapter of our lives, is often a bridge towards another piece of a puzzle. Remember that the life makes sense only in retrospect. Only looking back, we can understand, okay, now it makes sense. Now I understand why I needed to go through that. The process cannot be understood by stopping it. So the bridge is being built before you can see what it connects to. That's why you must have faith in the process. So instead of saying, I'm sorry it happened to you, to someone else, and let's be honest, we often also say it to ourselves, meaning, why it's happening to me? Try asking a better question. Who would you need to become to turn this chapter into your biggest blessing that serves not only you, but also others? And how I can support you in and through it. And this question implies three things. First of all, there is identity shift, meaning who would you need to become? So the invitation is to open your mind. And if you were the hero in your own movie, what would your hero do right now? If the whole world would be watching the movie about you, I think Chris Williamson says it, and they would be like cheering on you right now, what would they be saying for you to do? And it's like, you don't have to do that, but it doesn't hurt to open your mind and see a different perspective. The second thing what this question does, it's connects you or the person you are asking this question being of service. Meaning expands when life feels bigger than you, when we serve others. So asking this question, how this situation and my ability to alchemize it can serve not only me but also others, puts you of service to something bigger than yourself, to something beyond yourself. So it's almost like I need to go through this to make the world a better place. And the third part, how can I support you in it? And that implies that you are willing to hold the person's hand while the person is making those wobbly steps, building the bridge towards another piece of a puzzle. That implies that gives them a feeling that they are not alone, that they have support. And that is much more important than words. I'm sorry it happened to you. Yes, it's already happened. What now? And when we are in those dark tunnels of life, in dark chapters of life, support from others is very, very important. So this question gives the power back. It restores agency. It creates movement, motion, instead of paralysis. So next time, instead of saying, I'm sorry it happened to you, and placing the person in the role of victim, ask this question instead. Ask it to others. Ask it to yourself. The quality questions create quality life. Why? Because the brain is wired to search answers on questions we repeatedly ask. And if we ask the question, why it's always happening to me, the brain will find answers. When we ask the question, how this reality I am in right now can become my biggest blessing, the brain will start to search answers to this question as well. And the life of depth, meaning, and purpose is not built on avoiding pain, but on ability to alchemize, to transform it into something that matters.